7, Part 2. Very carefully, so as not to startle the creature, Ben pulled off the lid. "Is that a toy?" Pearl asked as she leaned closer. Then she inhaled so long and hard that if any bugs had been flying around, they surely would have been sucked into her mouth right between the big gap in her teeth. "Whoa, it's breathing!" She reached out to touch the creature, but Ben pulled the tin away. "Be careful, it shoots fire," he explained. "Grandpa's cat caught it. Its wing is torn." "Ben, do you know what you found?" Pearl's green eyes sparkled as if they'd been dipped in glitter. "Do you?" Ben swallowed hard. When he spoke, his voice was a bit shaky. "I think it's a baby dragon." "It sure is." Pearl smiled. "Do you think it belongs to the big dragon?" "Maybe." "Then we have to get it back to its mother. We have to go to the button factory." Ben didn't want to return the baby to its mother. He wanted to keep it, but he didn't know how to take care of it. "I've lived here all my life, and suddenly we have dragons in Buttonville. This is amazing." Pearl looked over her shoulder. "Better put the lid back on so no one else sees it." Ben did, and just in time, because a woman with hair as yellow as Pearl stuck her head out the upstairs window. "Pearl, what are you doing?" "Hi, Mom. I'm talking to my new friend, Ben." Mrs. Petal smiled. She had a big gap between her front teeth, too. "Hello, Ben. You must be Abe's grandson. We've heard a lot about you." "Hello," Ben said. "I bet it's exciting to live in Los Angeles. This town must seem very boring to you." Ben shrugged. "Well, Mom, can I go for a walk with Ben?" Mrs. Petal pursed her lips and thought for a moment. "I guess so. But you still have chores, so be back before we close." "Okay," Pearl answered. She yanked the napkin out of her collar and tossed it into the dollar store. Then she grabbed Ben's arm and pulled him down the sidewalk. "Don't get into trouble," Mrs. Petal called. "Please don't get into trouble." "I won't," Pearl called back. Then she grumbled, "Everyone always thinks I'm going to get into trouble." The scent of French fries and grilled burgers drifted out of the door of the Buttonville Diner as the kids passed by. "Maybe the baby dragon fell out of the big dragon's nest," Pearl said as they hurried down Main Street. "Then your grandpa's cat found it." "Maybe," Ben said, though the baby seemed very small to have come from the humongous creature that had flown between the clouds. Pearl led the way, turning onto First Street. Her shiny red basketball shorts swished with her hurried steps. They cut through a church parking lot and darted around the back of an abandoned gas station. Pearl's stride was longer than Ben's, her steps faster. He had to jog to keep up. "If the nest is on the button factory roof, like I think it is, then we'll have to climb up so we can give the baby dragon back," Pearl said as they crossed over to Maple Street. Ben stopped walking. There were many things he dreamed of doing. Getting past level 36 in Galaxy games was one of those things. Learning how to ride a skateboard was another one of those things. But facing an enormous mother dragon, not one of those things. The wall of flame the mother dragon could shoot from her snout would be 1,000,000 times bigger than the one that had come out of her baby. Pearl, I don't think we should climb to the roof. I have a better idea." "A better idea?" She skidded to a stop. "I'm listening." He told her about the red-haired man who worked at the button factory. "That's impossible," she said, pushing blonde wisps from her face. "No one works at the button factory. It closed years ago." "The man had a recipe in his pocket for artificial dragon's milk, and he bought the stuff to make it." Ben expected Pearl to laugh. He expected her to give him a playful shove and say something like, "No way, that's crazy." But she didn't. She twirled a lock of her hair, her eyes glazing over as she went into a deep thinking place. "Pearl, did you hear what I said?" "Dragon's milk," she mumbled. "Then he must know about the big dragon." She suddenly spun around. "Woohoo!" she cried. A squirrel that had been sitting on a garbage can skittered away. "Woohoo!" Pearl spun again. "This is amazing. Isn't this amazing? Don't you think this is amazing?" Ben broke into a huge grin. "Yes, it's amazing." But the mood was suddenly broken by a sickly sound, something between a squeak and a cough, that came from inside the tin. Ben opened the lid, and he and Pearl peered inside. A little green stain had spread across the paper towels. "Do you think that green stuff is blood?" Pearl asked. "Maybe," Ben said. "That stupid cat must have stabbed the dragon with one of its sharp teeth." "We'd better hurry."